92, yes. Good. Well, I'm glad you're all here today. I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox. I'm the spiritual leader here at the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. It's a pleasure to have you come today and be a part of our celebration service. I see a lot of new faces here today. If you're here for the first time, do you mind raising your hand? Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. Happy to have you here today. We're a metaphysical-based community. We welcome all facets of life into our spiritual home. This is our spiritual home, and we love sharing it here with Congregation Kol Ami, which is a Jewish synagogue here, very reformed, progressive synagogue. And one of the things I love about being here is there are different interfaith activities taking place throughout the week, and you'll hear more about that later this morning. The vision statement for our community is supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. We practice the teaching primarily of the science of mind, which is known as a philosophy, a faith, a way of life. Our goal here each and every Sunday morning and every time that we come together is to honor who you are on your path to finding who you are in a greater way than before as a divine being. We welcome all races, all religions, all countries of origin, all sexual orientations, all ethnicities, all abilities. We stand with you in life as the oneness that we all share within our divinity and as our divinity. As our beloved Dr. David Walker used to say, we welcome one and welcome all. It's my great pleasure this morning to have us kick off our service as we say hello not only to each other but to everyone live streaming. We know it's working. Say hi to those that are live streaming. I don't know why I feel like I need to stand on my tiptoes when I say that, but stretching out to the land of the internet, Harold, the land of the internet. So, hello everyone, and we want to welcome as we begin our service this morning, as we do every Sunday morning, with a ritual. And that ritual is called calling in the light. We call one of the qualities of the divine light. You'll hear in our service this morning many words that are non-traditional from a religious perspective that we give new meaning to, such as God. We also call the thing itself. We talk about life as the one power. So if you're new to our philosophy, just open your mind to what you're going to hear today and hear it anew. As I said, we begin our service with a ritual, and through that ritual, we honor the light that is within each and every individual. At the same time, during that process, there will be some music, an opportunity for you to do a call and response with our musicians. And then our practitioner of the day, which is Reverend Edward Brown, the assistant minister here, will take us through what's called spiritual mind treatment. It's a prayer that's not of supplication, but of declaration and affirmation. And then from there, we'll move on with the service. So I invite Reverend Edwards to the bema. Our illuminator today is the treasurer of our Board of Trustees, Connie Schneider. I welcome her. And please follow along with Andy Belling, our co-music director, and Harold Payne.
Calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love, calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love.
The ritual we performed this morning is called Calling in the Light. Today, we promote this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all people, all faiths, all beings come from the one, all-abiding presence, which is we call spirit. The purpose of this ritual is to draw into our gathering this morning a conscious awareness of our oneness and the qualities we possess as complete expressions of the divine. As Connie lights the first candle, it is for peace. In this way, we honor the inherent divine state of inner calm, regardless of any seemingly chaos going on around us. For we are that peace, the peace of God, in action as us. As Connie lights the second candle, it is lit for the power. The power we acknowledge as the energy by which everything exists. Everything exists because of this power. The third candle is lit for beauty, a personal expression of the spiritual qualities of all made manifest. Beauty, the beauty that we are, the beauty that we have within us, the beauty of God. That is a quality that we possess. The fourth candle is lit for the quality of joy, that state of being that is excited by the expression and the experience of good. Joy. The fifth candle is lit for the quality of light, the light of God that shines all around all of us, the symbol of divine intelligence, the light of God. The sixth candle is lit for all qualities of life, that which is defined as the animating principle of being, that inner something that makes everything live. Life, the life that we have, that quality of God that we call life. The seventh candle is lit for love, defined as the self-givingness of spirit, the desire of life to express itself by giving of itself. We are all love in action. Know that the love goes forth from me and love returns to me. The eighth candle is lit for wisdom, the concept of unity in the mystical secret of the ages, and it is the key to wisdom. Wisdom is knowledge, and we all possess that wisdom. As Connie lights the ninth candle, which we call the healing candle, let us bring into our consciousness this moment someone or some situation that we know needs a healing. We bring it there and we do a healing for that individual, that situation in this moment.
I am love, I am love, I am peace, I am peace. In my heart, in my heart, I am free, I am free. I am spirit, I am soul. All together, we are whole, calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love, calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is.
Now, in this moment, I would like for you to join with me in a spiritual mind treatment of knowing the truth of who and what we are. For in truth, there is only one life, one power, one presence, God. God is all, in all, expressing as all. For God is the allness that we are. And in this moment, we are each expressions of that one at our level of awareness of God. For we are each an individualization of the one expressing the qualities of God that we possess. As we speak our word of truth, we know in this moment that all is well. Life is good, and we are truly blessed. We speak our word of truth, knowing that the truth that resides within us is the truth of the universe, and we are that truth in action. We speak our word this morning for this center, for the minister, for every individual that has entered these doors this day, knowing that each person is here by right of his or her consciousness. And we bless them with joy, with peace, with loving understanding, knowing that this is the right place for this moment. We joyously give thanks for this center we call Center for Spiritual Living, Los Angeles, knowing that it shines throughout West Hollywood, Los Angeles, and the world, a beacon light. And we give thanks for our minister, for the staff ministers, for the practitioners, for the volunteers. And above all, we give thanks for these musicians as they share their love and their joy the way they know to share. For we are one with the one in this moment. We joyously give thanks for this truth. We know it is true. We know it is so. And together we will say, and so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Edward.
Thank you.
And Harold and Andy and Connie. So wonderful. Really set the stage energetically, right? Beautiful. Beautiful. Wonderful. So Harold, welcome you back up. You just get to drink a little cup of water there or a sip, and we're back to have your next song. So I love it when Harold is here. He brings such a great calmness of energy and some upbeatness, and just his soul shines in a unique way with his guitar here. So I'm happy to have you back. He's one of the more conscious metaphysicians, musical metaphysicians we've had here in a long time. Last time he was scheduled to be here, he was out in the middle of North Dakota or South Dakota or somewhere, and you were getting sick, right? Chicago. And he was on his way here, and he was concerned he was going to be sick, and he notified us in advance. That's really rare. Most of them notify you at 8:59 that morning when they were supposed to be here 24 minutes prior to 8:59.
You wouldn't want to hear me that.
You wouldn't want to hear me either if you did that at that hour. So welcome, Harold Payne.
I'm honored to share this incredible musician here, one of the finest accompanists I've had the pleasure to work with. So, Andy, thank you. Oh, I am standing on the shoulders of those who've gone before me, and I am following the footsteps of those who led the way. I got to say it again. Oh, I am standing on the shoulders of those who've gone before me, following the footsteps of those who led the way. Like Jesus and Gandhi and Martin Luther King and Mother Teresa, we all have a dream. We're living and learning from the love they left behind. The candle is still burning now, and we can help it shine, yeah. I am standing on the shoulders of those who've gone before me, standing on the shoulder, and I am following the footsteps of those who led the way. Every time I stumble, every time I fall, I think of all their sacrifice. Will the streams flow long? Will have been well paid by the dues they all have paid? I hear their voices calling me to reach a higher place. Yeah, I am standing on the shoulders of those who've gone before me. Standing on the shoulders, I am following the footsteps of those who've led the way. And you have made us strong, and we will carry on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I am standing on the shoulders of those who've gone before me. Shoulder, I am following the footsteps of those who led the way. Gonna break it down just a little bit now. Oh, I am standing on the shoulders of those who've gone before me. Yeah, standing on the shoulders, and I am following the footsteps of those who led the way. Oh, 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 yeah. Hey, I am standing on the shoulders of those who've gone before me. Standing on the shoulders, I am following the footsteps of those who led the way. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Harold Payne, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Harold. Much better. Okay. Had to take care of that. So happy Memorial Day weekend, everyone. Right? I can tell you're all really jazzed about it. So this weekend, Memorial Day, first of all, I'm going to invite you to indulge me when I read a lot, because today I'm going to read a lot, so just know that. It's not that I don't know my lyrics, it's that I have a very specific point to give. So today is Memorial Day. We're celebrating that this weekend in the United States. And we remember all those who have served and or died in our nation's military service. Now, to say the least, it's important that we acknowledge the fallen and memorialize their giving of their lives for our physical freedom. Now, let's all take a moment and reflect on the physical freedom that we have in this very modern world as a result of these individuals giving of their life, often in horrific settings in battle. I think that so often in today's world we forget that many have died for that, and we're oftentimes, I'll speak for myself, very detached from military service because we don't have the draft anymore in our country, and so... Okay, well, yeah, it's good that we don't have the draft, I guess. I'm not going to turn this into a political scene. I was just acknowledging that since we don't have the draft, from my perspective, we are not as, I'll speak for myself, I'm not as engaged because I'm not as personally impacted that way because I'm not aware of a lot of people personally that choose to go and serve. So let's just take a moment and think of some of the freedoms that we have as a result of that. We have the freedom to vote, the freedom to serve. We have women's rights that didn't exist before. We have the right to marry. All people have that right. Certainly people of color now have the right to vote, which they didn't before. And one that has certainly become quite popular in today's world, and we were talking about it earlier this morning, cannabis is legal. So I think all of that stuff is a good thing in the world that we live in today. This weekend, Memorial Day, in its current state, is focused on the kickoff of summer, where there are opportunities for all of us to get 30 to 40% off at our favorite retail environments. We have time for reflection. We have time to spend with those we love. And we have time for restoration and renewal. This morning, I'm going to focus on the restoration and renewal part of that and healing. In addition, on this Memorial Day weekend, to honoring those who protect and serve to secure our physical freedom, the fallen warriors, if you will, I invite you to remember those in your life who are helping or have helped you protect your innate freedom. Harold was singing of that just a moment of those, of the giants for whose shoulders you stand on. What I mean by honoring those who have either helped you or are helping you protect your innate freedom, what I mean by that is those who have supported you or helped you in awakening within yourself a greater awareness of your ability to think freely and then consciously use your free will. Now, for me, remembering those individuals, I'm going to name a few. It's Dr. David Walker, Dr. Maureen Hoyt, Deepak Chopra, David Hawkins, Janet Cano, Oprah Winfrey, Bunny Hull, James Hartsburg, my first practitioner in this teaching, Karen Wolfson, and then my first practitioner here at the Los Angeles Church, Cynthia Savage, who's sitting in the back right now, and so many more. I invite you in this moment to bring forth into your mind's eye those whose shoulders you stand on as a result of them seeing within you the possibility of you expressing more of who you are as a divine being. Just bring them up. And if you feel so compelled, state their name into the room in this very moment. Wonderful. Now, I did that with purpose because I want us to feel the energy of those individuals on this Memorial Day weekend and memorialize not only what they saw in us, but to remember to bring that forward as we walk the pathway of the journey of our life, finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. The title of my message this morning is this: Honor and Respect. It's a privilege. Honor and respect. It's a privilege. Let's look at the word honor. As a noun, it is defined as high respect or esteem. A synonym for honor is indeed privilege. If we look at it as a verb, it speaks to regard with great respect. To respect and admire, it's an action statement to honor someone. And the next definition as a verb is to fulfill an obligation or keep an agreement. To observe, to execute, to effect. If we're choosing to honor someone as a verb, we are observing that which they saw in us that at the time we didn't see in ourselves. But yet, as that light was continued to be shined on us by that individual, the light became brighter than it was before in our own mind. Ultimately, we were able to see it in ourselves and then walk the pathway, illuminating the pathway for others. Which then leads us to the next charge I have this morning is to do so with respect. Respect as a noun is defined as the feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements. As a verb, it is to admire someone or something deeply as a result of their abilities, their qualities, or their achievements. In other words, as we choose to respect and honor those that saw that within us, what we're really doing is we're giving recognition with pride and joy and holding them in a high regard, facilitating ultimately for each one of us, as I said before, fulfilling the vision statement of the center, which is finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. This morning, I encourage you and I invite you to not only hold those individuals in high esteem, but shift that viewpoint for a moment and do the same for yourself. To begin to look at yourself as one of those individuals who saw the light within yourself, so that you would find your personal self-empowerment through a spiritual way and then illuminate the pathway for others as you've walked through the journey of your life. that's taking place whether you're consciously aware of it or not, because we're all interconnected. And as we all come together in a setting such as this and or share in each other's lives outside of this, as beings that are conscious of who we are as spiritual beings, it is incumbent upon us to open ourselves up, and the result must be that we light the way for others. On this Memorial Day, I invite you and encourage you to let's just honor and respect as a privilege through our inherent divine freedom, to then engage in a deeper honor and respect for the freedom that we have to live who we are as individualizations of the one mind of the divine. The objective for my message this morning on this holiday and the days to come is for each one of us to make a covenant and a commitment to a healing in our life. A healing from the perspective of revealing that which is inherent within us, which we addressed a moment ago in these candle lightings known as peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom. Let's choose that today, on this day of revelation and healing, that as we honor those who have consciously sacrificed something in their life, oftentimes it was their life so that we have freedom to live in the United States of America, that we do the same for ourselves and choose to sacrifice something in our life so as to propagate more good and reveal that divine inherent freedom that we have to express our authenticity and individuality. Not sacrifice out of punishment, but out of an understanding that the old must die away for that which appears to be new to emerge. Now, for those of you that have been coming here on Sunday mornings or known me for years, you know that there is newness in my physicality that is emerging. It's not that there's a new body emerging. It's just that the body that I've always had has been covered in fat for a while. And now that there's less fat than was there before. It's still the same body, which is the same for each of us as the energy of the divine that exists within us that is oftentimes masked. But the thing is that the energy doesn't go away. It's still there waiting to be called forth from us. In other words, consciously from our perspective by saying enough is enough, and what we're letting go of as we ignite that spark of the revelation of the power of God that is within us is to let the old die away. And so today I invite you on this Memorial Day of honoring those that have seen the light in you and you're now seeing the light in yourself to ask yourself, what old within you are you willing to let go of, that you are ready to sacrifice and let go of, whether it be ideas or beliefs or habits or opinions, whether you're conscious of that and or not, and focus on what is the next steps of your healing. The process of those next steps that I want to focus on this morning are this: restoration, recovery, and healing by revealing. Let's look at that process of restoration, recovery, healing by revealing. The healing process, as Ernest Holmes refers to as revealing the divine within us, the one light, the one life, the one power that we all share, whether we're conscious of it or not, it exists. However, what we know is the more and more that we become conscious of it, it appears that the more and more we get to experience it, the more and more we get to experience it, the more and more we become conscious of it, which means that the more and more of it we want to express because it brings us peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom, which ultimately brings forth through us more of it, which we experience, and the cycle continues. The healing process, as I'm speaking on this morning, as we engage this, will bring each of us a greater sense of renewal and possibility in life. To engage this process, one, that's you and that's me, must become aware of their attitudes, habits, and beliefs that hold us back from experiencing our greatness. Conscious healing is what I'm talking about this morning. It's that indeed I think is the ultimate freedom in life. Requires a fusion of intention, beliefs, and choices that we make for ourselves. I ask you this morning to look within and ask yourself, what intentions would you like to walk out of here today that you'd like to see become form or fruition or experience in your life? What belief would you like to change about yourself as a being that's perfect, whole, and complete already? And what choices would you like to commit to making today to enhance your life by knowing that you're a divine being already and that there's nothing that you need to add to yourself for that to be your truth? But there's a lot that you get to let go of to reveal more and more of that truth that is inherent within you and within me. Well, the way to do that is to embrace your true and authentic self. As we begin to embrace our true self and trust our authentic inner wisdom that each of us has, we get to set ourselves on the path to a lasting lightness of being. In other words, we find our personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening, or we engage in a commitment to conscious spiritual practice. Both, ultimately, the focus is knowing who you are as a divine being that is individualized on this planet that we walk daily called Earth. What we're talking about is upping your game to spiritual practice. Spiritual practice, not dropping to your knees and praying to some God outside of you, but more and more looking within and knowing that you are perfect, whole, and complete as you are, that you are enough just as you are. And the infinite power, the unfailing power of the divine matters not what you call it, but the more and more that you call it into being, the more and more you become confident and secure that that's who you are. And anything that's contrary or contradictory to that disappears and dissipates and moves out into the ethers of the space of universe, waiting to be converted into more good to be revealed through you. What I'm talking about here is a spiritual practice of meditation, going within and listening. In our class of prayer recently, our students were instructed, not by me, by writings that they read, that one of the most important things to do in spiritual practice is to do, are you ready? To shut up and listen. To just shut up and listen. Now, most people get offended when they hear that. But if you believe that that's the voice of the divine within you saying, no, if you would just shut up, I'll speak through you. Because that's really what it's talking about. Then we get to know who we are more and more. The spiritual practice that I'm talking about is about going deeper within, about spending time in contemplation and having faith in the power of the divine and clarity on the desired outcome. In other words, living from a place, as the modern day term is called, mindfulness. As we live life from a more mindful perspective and become more mindful, every moment of warmth, of kindness, and every experience and expression of beauty, creativity, and wholeness that you witness comes to you in a more rich and vibrant way. In other words, it's as you use the law of attraction, attracting back into you that which you are, life itself becomes more rich and vibrant. And that richness that I'm talking about in this moment can replace any burdens that currently or have existed in your life. Anything that we may have been holding on, whether it be physically or mentally or emotionally, that's telling us that we are less than the perfection of the divine. Or any choices that we may have been making in life that perpetuate those beliefs. Now, one might say that the true self, your divine self, is waiting for you to release it through you, and I believe that that's true. But it cannot do that unless you and I play our part. I ask you this morning, are you ready to play that part, your part, in the co-creative process of life to reveal who you are as a divine being in a greater way? Yes. Good. Glad to know you're up for it. Are you ready to release, to choose, to let the old disintegrate away and allow your divinity to be expressed through you? Well, thank you. I'm glad you are. Here's what Deepak Chopra says about this process. He says, how do we know if we aren't living our divine nature? He says, well, we feel it, either physically, emotionally, innately, or all of the above. He writes, have you ever heard that the issues in life are in the tissues? He says that mind and body are dynamically interconnected, that your cells feel your thoughts and process them chemically while your mind is aware of how your body is doing. What this tells us is that no weight is dead weight, he writes. The burdens that we carry around with us have become part of our attitudes, beliefs, and ultimately a part of our way of life. We keep them lodged there through old choices and can now be reversed by bringing into them the light of awareness. Not the light of awareness that they're there, the light of awareness that we have the power to have them disappear and dissipate through us through our choices. He goes on to write, to make better choices, first and most importantly, we must embrace our true self. We call this your divine nature. We call this that place within you that is absolute, that is unalterable, that is unchangeable. He goes, even before the true self fully emerges in life, we get to experience that through meditation, affirmation, declaration, prayer, and mindfulness. But it's important for us to know that it almost permeates every single experience that we have of love, beauty, truth, creativity, and bliss. Now, he refers to the qualities of the divines as love, beauty, truth, creativity, and bliss, like we do, the peace, power, beauty, joy. And as in this congregation, they do as commandment, joy, love, eternal understanding, and blessing. What he's telling us is that in those moments, to pause when you experience these qualities of the divine, to pause and remind yourself that in this moment, that I know that I am, that I am, that I am, but that I am touching the reality of life that is always mine. That's your true self that's being referred to here. This experience of stopping and reminding ourselves is tremendously helpful in shifting all your other beliefs, your attitudes, and your choices in life. The command that I have for you this morning as you move about your life from this day forward is to embrace your true self every opportunity that you have, and even when you think you do not have the opportunity, that is the prime time to choose to embrace your divinity. Understand what it means to recover in life from anything that has caused you pain, discourse, or what you perceive to be a disconnect from the source of life itself, and allow the wholeness of who you are to be revealed. The healing process of restoration, revelation, and healing should uplift you and liberate you. Getting rid of burdens in life should not be a burden. Let that power within you, the higher intelligence, which is a part of every cell in your being and body, do the work. In the moment, in the most basic way, find fulfillment of some kind every day. So where do we start? Well, I think it's important to start to assess where we are, to look at the realms of consciousness and ask ourselves, where am I on this journey of personal self-empowerment through spiritual awakening? The realms of consciousness, the evolutions of consciousness, are broken down into 4 categories. Victim consciousness, which is known as to me, believing that life is happening to me. The second is by me. When you become awakened to the understanding, whether it's deep within you by conscious engagement or through hurt and pain, that you play a role in the creative process of what you get to experience in your life, you begin to release blame, shame, and guilt. The next stage of this realm of consciousness is through me. As one awakens to the ability that you have, the power to impact your life, and surrendering the need, which is delusional, to control, then you open up a stream, if you will, an avenue for the divine to be expressed through you in a way that brings you greater enlightenment and empowerment and joy. That's the evolution taking place through you. As you continue to evolve, you realize there's no need to attempt to control that, and you surrender to the process of life, which moves you to the highest realm, which is as me. Realizing that you are not doing any of the work at all. It is the power of the divine that exists within you, doing it through you, as you. You are it, and it is you. Is this process of restoration, revealing, and healing, and renewal an easy one? It is if you say, yes, it's easy. It's not if you say, no, it's a struggle. But it's important to know that you're not going to master the rest of your life in one day. I've learned that, trust me, on this weight loss program I am, which really isn't a weight loss program, it's a change in how I'm living my life. I've realized that it's a one day at a time process, and it might come as a shock to some of you, but I'm a little bit OCD. Let that sit there for a second. I like to micromanage things sometimes, less and less each and every day, which I'm sure Jesus will laugh about, because he was laughing at me this morning when we were putting the candles out. One of the flickers was gone, and I noticed it. He goes, you would be the only person in this entire room that would notice that. I don't believe that. There's probably one other person, but I noticed it. Mary would notice it, right? What's important to know is you're not going to master the rest of your life in one day. Just relax and master the day. then just keep doing that every day. What we're really talking about here in life, if you're open to it from this day forward, is to create a shift in the way that you approach life. We've been going through that in this prayer class that I'm teaching. I keep reminding everybody each prayer class that we're in that these are the steps that I've defined that are required to create a shift in life, and it's this. As a metaphysician, be clear on your definition of God or source or the divine or the thing itself or Rosie or Mary or Jim, whatever you want to call it, it matters not. And then to commit to living from faith. Faith that the power is unfailing, therefore it will bring through you that which you own yourself to be as it. And to then begin right where you are. The next one is, students will laugh at this, use your words, Becky. Becky is the name for the universal human in this class right now. And what that means is use your words to communicate, not just with the divine, but with yourself and with each other. It's all the same thing, by the way. And the last is have fun. I have not been having fun every single day of this process of revelation. Most days I have. But the days that I was micromanaging what I was eating and putting on the scale, it was all really focused on what the scale said to me when I stepped on it. And there was one day when I thought, this is absolutely contrary to what I stand up and teach every night, talk about as a minister, and preach on Sunday mornings. And one morning in my bathroom, we'll leave it at that one, I won't give you any more visuals, I got on the scale and I expected more than it was willing to tell me. And I literally said to myself, there's got to be a different way for this journey. And so what I did was I said, speak to me, to the divine. And as I was walking and listening to meditation, which was my commitment every day, I began to feel this rhythm within me. And this rhythm within me became poetry that started being revealed to me. And I realized that that was the answer. That as opposed to wanting to fix what I was seeing before my eyes that I would then photograph and send to my coach during this program, which I still do every day. But to do that in the minute I see that number, celebrate that which I preach and teach is actually taking place. The law of life is responding to that which I'm placing upon it. Literally. The scale in the morning. It is responding to me by giving me a number. And then I get to choose what attitude I want to bring forth, what beliefs I have, and what mindset I want to embrace the day with. And I've learned that there have been many, 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 many mornings that I had to get my bloated, significantly less bloated, ego out of the way in that process. But this morning, I'm inviting you and encouraging you to do the same on your journey in life. And I'm going to share with you the last poem that I read as the goal of not only sharing my heart and my journey with you, but to hopefully spark within you, to ignite within you, to realize that the divine is waiting to speak through you. And here it is. It's said that the universe is at hand, conspiring for me and for you. Happy, healthy, and grand, oh yes, you do have a clue. Co-creation is the task, letting go and choosing anew, shedding the old mask, presenting only that which is true. Cosmic energy is within, also in the stars it resides, in the brain, the heart, and the shin, the force of one. Yes, it presides. Renewal is its nature, it's everywhere we see. Release the nomenclature. No, it was not declared by thee. Matters not what it's called, interconnected we all are. Be overjoyed and not galled, you are the same as a star. Let the truth sink in with joy in your heart, each moment we began and given a fresh new start. Shedding is the pattern through weight loss and more. You are just like Saturn, a halo ring, maybe 4. It's all governed by law. You get what you give. Don't let that stick in your craw. It's now time to really live. The only moment is now. Yesterday's gone, what's to come not here. Approach like a cell, not a plow, and know you are perfect, my dear. Breathe in, breathe out, and let it all go. Trust me, for sure, it will show. Perfection is who you are, no longer to deny. It's true here and afar. You are already it. There's nothing to buy. Today is the day, no more shall you hide. You are the divine at play. Now go wear it with pride. Thank you. Thank you. This morning, I invite you to wear your divinity with pride. I invite you to know that you are indeed that which is a star. Not just a star as some light shines on you like Norma Desmond, but the star as the cosmic energy of the divine that is just waiting to be brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter through you. I've shared with you before many times that I love to listen to music. Music to me is a way that the divine speaks through me. I've invited Harold to sing a song for you this morning, which is one of the songs that I listen to often. And it speaks to an invitation to the power of the divine that exists within each of us. And it's an instruction that may seem a bit old school in its languaging, but I invite you to let go of your attachment to the nomenclature. It was not declared by thee, and yet we must use language to communicate, because that's how we communicate other than through feelings and emotions. So as I close this morning, listen to this song that was written by Ricky Byers-Beckwith that Harold and Andy are going to sing to you, and just allow it to wash over you as the same as the water in a bath of cleansing would do. And then see what speaks to you and let it be the charge for you today, as you go about not only just standing on the shoulders of the giants of those individuals who saw the spark of the divine in you, but for you to see it in yourself in a new way today, and then become that individual that someone else stands on your shoulder. Because the truth is, you and I are giants of the divine. Enjoy.
Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth and the stars and all of creation. God is creator, all in all, leading us to shine His light. As me, as you, use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, it's here for you. God is love, it heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new. God needs light to shine its light, as you, as me. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. All that I must do. Use me, use me. Oh God, use me. Oh, oh,
Harold Payne. Harold Payne and Andy Belling, thank you so much. Beautiful, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. If I can have our ushers come forward, please. So now is the time that we have the opportunity to share of our financial good here at the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. Your opportunities to give are through cash, check, I jokingly say an endowment, we like that. Cash, check, charge. If you'd like to give through credit card, you can see Reverend Edward in the back at the greeting table and or online through our website, csl-la.org, or through the app in the App Store. So take that which you are consciously giving, and for those of you that were at our business meeting last week, you heard our financial statement, and so we welcome each and every donation that comes forward and that being multiplied abundantly as we give today. So take it and place it close to your heart, whatever you're giving. I'm placing my phone close to mine because I used our app this morning. And that's the same for those of you watching online. We welcome your donations as well. And just repeat after me, please. Conscious giving heals.
Conscious giving heals.
It awakens and enlivens my awareness.
It awakens and enlivens my awareness.
And reveals to me in a new way.
And reveals to me in a new way.
I am one.
I am one.
I am one with all of humanity.
I am one with all of humanity.
I am one with an abundant universe.
I am one with an abundant universe.
I am one.
I am one.
It's from this state of mind
From this state of mind,
I give with love
I give with love
and know that it returns to me multiplied abundantly, and blessings continue in my life and all of life. And so it is. Thank you.
'Tis the gift to be simple, 'tis the gift to be free, 'tis the gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we shan't be ashamed to turn. Turn will be our delight, till by turning, turning, we come round right.
Great. Thank you, Andy. And I love the little... And thanks for the side eye. So some announcements. For starters, we'll start with thank yous. A big thank you to Reverend Edward for gracing us with his consciousness today through the illumination. Connie Schneider as our illuminator, or illuminatress. Yes. The setup this morning, Jesus Ernesto Ruiz, Bob Zwolinski, Rolando, and Erwin. Thank you to all of you. Our musician this morning, the one and only Harold Payne. Thank you. Harold has music for sale out in the lobby through CD form. Is that correct?
That's true.
That's true. You can buy CDs from Harold out there. For those of us that don't use CDs, what would be the better way to do that? Do you have a website you can download?
Yes.
Good. Harold Payne Music. Wonderful. A big thank you to Andy Belling. We love having you back in the house, Andy Belling. All right, are you ready for the litany of announcements? So Wednesday morning, the guided meditation is continuing. So please feel free to join us on that. If you're unaware of what that information is, sign up for our e-newsletter that goes out every Tuesday, and that it has that information there, the link for that. Dance class continues on Friday with Walter and Charlene Painter. It's called The Spirit of Dance, and that's for those of us in our congregation and anyone else that would like to come along, to meet at 11:30 at the Hollywood Dance Center on Highland Avenue. Information also on our website and our e-newsletter. It's $15, and it is load o' fun, let me just tell you, to get your groove on. Please follow us on the Facebook page, for which you'll see not only there, but follow us there on our Instagram, but also our promo video for social media, and we have others doing more promo videos that we're excited about. We have one class left in the prayer class. It has been quite spectacular. We had 30 people there Wednesday night, so it was really wonderful. Thank you all that are coming. It's been a great class, right? Yes. Great. So if you want to get the wrap up on how to use prayer effective in your life, how to speak from a spiritual truth to get further instructions on what I talked about today, that will take place on Wednesday. So if you'll notice in your seats today, we never do this, but today we handed these out for you guys. You have a handout for the donation drive, an event that we're doing with Congregation Cole Ami. It's a drive that we have for items that you can donate and or you can purchase items on Amazon for their wish list. We're doing a drive together to support an organization called Save the Syrian Children, and this tells you what to bring. So you can bring it in here during the week, Tuesday through Friday from 9 to 5, and or class Wednesday night, and or next Sunday, or the night of the event, which we will have here on June 5th from 7:15 to probably 8:30. Our goal would be to have some stuff to eat, I think some pizzas and snacks and that kind of stuff. It's a great opportunity to not only come together and pack what's been collected to send to Save the Syrian Children, but to also hear a presentation from the founders, or certainly people representing them. We're finalizing that piece of that, as well as to have fun with some congregants of Congregation Cole Ami. They will have just been finishing their congregational meeting like we had last Sunday that evening for us to do that. So also on next Sunday is Bring a Friend to CSL LA Day. Please share your inspiration and bring friends. We're going to have a good day that day, an uplifting message, of course, and a chance to meet new people. So take this and hand it out. If you want more, email me. I can send it to you as a PDF, or you can use your printer to copy more and hand them out. And we'll send out an email announcement as well. Please, everyone bring at least a friend or two. We're going to set the chairs up for that. So if you don't, it's going to look like a really empty space. Okay. Just a reminder, June 24th is our Young Leader Sunday. That's the day that our groups, that's 25 to 35, I believe, will be leading the service. And our picnic is July 8th. Sandy is counting the days to put up the sign-out sheet for you to bring your favorite casserole, salad, and or whatever you like to bring to a church picnic, right? So I think that's it. Any questions? All right, let's close with a spiritual mind treatment. So begin closing this time together today just simply in a field and energy of gratitude. Feeling the transformational journey we've been on since we walked into this room today. We commit right now to the restoration, the revelation, and the renewal of our being and our body and our soul. So right now we let go of anything that is weighing us down, whether it be called a burden, an old idea, a habit, or anything in our consciousness that we're unaware of. We let it go, as if we're releasing feathers floating up to the sky. And what we command the energy to do, the energy of life itself, is to use us. Use me, the song says. Command my hands, command my mind, command my tongue through the words that I speak. Use me. Let today be the day that we consciously commit to living from our divinity as we reveal our humanity. Now is the time. We let it be as we say together. And so it is. Thank you. Have a great Sunday. There's food for you out there in the form of cakes and coffee cake and fruit and coffee and tea. Have a great Sunday. Thank you for being here.